Hey everyone, Principal Maletti here. We're going to take a different approach than the newsletter this time. I know you have a lot of questions and concerns and need some clarification. So we're putting together this video that we're going to send out, that obviously you received if you're listening to this, and then post it on the website as just a different approach to getting our information out. First, I'd like to say apologies for the last minute cancellation of last evening's parent meeting. We felt everyone should be focused on the safety of their families rather than having a parent meeting. So we rescheduled that for Monday at 5 o'clock, and there'll be more to follow during this video. Approach we're taking today is I have Ann here with us and Mr. White, who's recording. Ann's going to ask all the questions that she's received from parents and students over the past since the last parent meeting. So we're going to do it almost like an interview. She'll ask the questions, and I'll answer the questions. If you still need clarification or have some more concerns or questions, bring them up at Monday's meeting at 5 o'clock. So without further ado, Ann, we'll get started with the first question.
Okay. Can you describe what a morning health screening should look like?
Sure. So in the district plan, and I'm going to bring it up here, in the district plan, which is on the website all the way at the bottom, parents go to page 23 of the district plan. It outlines the daily health screening questions. There are 12 questions that are on the health screening. If you answer and yes to any of those questions when you screen your child, then that you should keep your child home that day. Things like, do you have a fever? Do you have a cough? Do you have a new loss of taste or smell? Do you have a sore throat? Muscle aches, chills, shortness of breath? Do you have a headache, a new one or unusual one? Gastrointestinal symptoms? Have you been placed in quarantine? Do you need to self-isolate? Or have you traveled in the past 14 days? So page 23, parents should go all the way at the bottom of the district homepage is the district reentry plan, and that's on page 23.
Okay. Where can I find my child's bus information?
Your child's bus information is on the website, again, on the homepage, bloomfieldschools.org. If you go down to the little middle of the page, in blue, it says bus routes. Click on the bus route and you'll be able to find your child's bus route.
How are students to sit on the bus?
Students are supposed to sit according to the guidelines, which is every other seat, diagonal, and one to a seat unless students are coming from the same household.
Can you explain the different cohorts?
Sure. So confirmation after doing the parent survey and getting a pretty solid number of those students who are participating in hybrid versus distance, cohort A will be the last names that begin with A and end with K. That'll be cohort A. That group will attend school live on Mondays and Tuesdays from 7:30 to 12 o'clock noon. The L through Z last name is cohort B, and they'll attend school on Thursdays and Fridays.
Please describe the hybrid model schedule.
Sure. So going with the cohorts, we have cohort A and cohort B. Cohort A comes to school on Monday and attends live classes period 1, 3, 5, and 7. At the close of period 7 at 12 o'clock, students will be dismissed and have lunch on a grab and go and exit the building for the day. At 12:30, teachers will re-engage, and cohort B and students who opted out and opted into distance learning will begin their schedule virtually. They will be required to log on to their first period class beginning at 12:30 and will follow the 1-3-5 schedule virtually as outlined in the schedule. On Tuesdays, cohort A will attend periods 2, 4, and 6 live in the school. They will be dismissed at 11 o'clock. Lunch again will be grab and go, and students must exit the building. At 12:30 again, those students in cohort B and distance learners will log on and virtually meet in their classrooms periods 2, 4, and 6 with their teachers. On Wednesdays, every student is home, every teacher is home. All classes will meet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All periods, students will be required to log in and meet virtually with their teachers as outlined by the schedule. They have nothing, no live class following period 7, which I believe ends at 11:50. Teachers will be available for small group instruction and one-to-one with their teachers, which will have to be set up with individual teachers. On Thursdays, Cohort B attends class while Cohort A and distance learners remain at home. Cohort B attends periods 1, 3, 5, 7. It's exit after 7th period, 12 o'clock. They're to exit the building, grab and go lunch. They are done with live classes for the day. At 12:30, Cohort A students who are home on Thursdays log in their computers and meet with their teachers virtually beginning at 12:30, period 1. They will be required to log in for each period as outlined in the schedule. Friday, Cohort B attends school, periods 2, 4, and 6. Period 6 ends at 11 o'clock. Students exit the building after dismissal and grab and go lunch. At 12:30, Cohort A now logs into their computers and meets with their teachers virtually along with the distance learners for periods 2, 4, and 6 beginning at 12:30 as outlined in the schedule.
Please describe enhanced distance learning.
Sure, enhanced distance learning is those students that have opted to be completely remote this school year or part of it based on the circumstances. Right now, as stated in some of the other meetings, we're working closely with teachers to have them live stream and or record their lessons from the morning that will allow our distance learners to attend classes virtually. In addition to that, distance learners will be required to log in the afternoons and attend their class live with their teachers every single day. So on Mondays, they'll attend periods 1, 3, 5, and 7. Same will go for Thursdays, 1, 3, 5, and 7. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, they'll meet with their 2, 4, 6 teachers. They'll be required to log in and participate virtually with their classmates on those days. And they will attend class with their classmates virtually on the Wednesdays when everyone else is home.
Will attendance be taken for distance learning?
Attendance will be taken for every mode of learning, whether it's live or virtual. A student will be marked present when they log in to the class at their designated time and show their face. They will have to attend and turn their camera on so that we know that they are present and up and ready for learning for that day and that period. If they're not, they will be marked absent accordingly. We will reach out to parents, let them know. Of course, we'll still follow the same attendance policy as we had with the loss of credit due to attendance, but again, under the circumstances that we're in, we do understand that due to some of the screenings, we're not going to hold students accountable should they show symptoms or be home because of displaying symptoms of COVID, or as we have in the past, anything that's excused, an excused absence will be excused and will be not counted against them.
When will students' schedules be released?
Student schedules will be opened Tuesday, September 1st. It's imperative that parents have a parent portal account. We are going completely digital. There will be no more paper copies, no more paper schedules, report cards, progress reports. Parents are going to need the parent portal to monitor their students' grades and attendance and also receive messages via PowerSchool and notifications. If you have not already set up your parent portal account, please make sure you do that or contact the school as soon as possible so we can assist you.
What is the schedule change process for this year?
So when the portal opens up September 1st and students and families see their schedules, there may be some questions or concerns with schedules. It is strongly recommended that an email be sent to your school counselor describing the concern or schedule change in full. At that point, counselors can reach out to parents and students directly. In addition, after that, on Wednesdays, you should be receiving a Zoom invite from each of the school counselors that your children may or may not have that describes office hours for one-to-one virtual meetings to talk about any schedule changes. Due to the guidelines that are outlined in the size of our counselors' offices, one-to-one meetings with students face-to-face must be by appointment only and will be in a separate location. Guidance will be locked. There will not be any drop-in services for counselors due to the guidelines that have been outlined by the Department of Public Health and the CDC.
How will students get the codes for their Google Classroom and Zoom classes?
Google Classroom codes will be created and posted by Friday. That is Friday, the September 4th. So at that point, students should at least go in. It'll be in the virtual backpack as it was during the school year when we were forced to leave on March 13th. All Google Classroom codes will be posted in the virtual backpack by teacher and by period. Students should use these codes to log in starting school September 8th, 2020 at 7:30 in the morning if they're coming into class. If they're not, they should be logged into that class if they're distance learners or part of the B group beginning at 12:30, period 1 on Tuesday, September 8th. The schedule for the first week of school is not going to be changed. We're going to follow the typical schedule as outlined, where on Tuesdays, Cohort A comes in, Wednesdays is all virtual, and then Thursdays and Fridays, Cohort B attends school live. We will not adjust it. We'll stick with the same schedule so that not to confuse everybody.
What will the first day of school look like?
Probably this type of mode is not the best way to describe the first day of school. So as I stated earlier, we're going to be having another parent meeting on Monday at 5 o'clock. You have the link. We just moved it up from last night to Monday. As part of that meeting, Mr. White and myself are going to conduct a live virtual tour in which we're going to go through the entire school building, beginning with arrival, and then transitioning to classes, and then show you all some of the different setups in the classes, some of the signage we have, some of the protective devices, some of the PPE that we have, as all part of the parent meeting on Monday. That will be done live, real time, but virtual at the 5 o'clock meeting. At that point, we hope to give you a better sense of what a school day is going to look like. And again, if you have any questions, we'll be there that night to answer anything else that you may have.
Can you explain what PE, JROTC, and art classes will look like?
Yep. Due to the nature of these classes will mostly take place outdoors. Students, if they do have these classes in their schedule, they should dress accordingly to be outdoors on these days. We will not be utilizing locker rooms, so therefore students will not be able to change in a locker room, and all of our bathrooms will be single bathrooms. So students on those days, they have either a PE, JROTC, or visual arts class, should dress accordingly, both according to the weather, but also the fact knowing that they will be participating in a physical activity and may want to bring an extra shirt or a sweatshirt or something or others. But they should prepare accordingly for those classes.
What is an approved mask?
Okay, so I'm going to read directly from an email that was sent by our school nurse today, Nurse Kelly. Best practice for masks will be that all masks should fit snugly on the face, over the nose, and under the chin, no gapping at the sides. All cloth masks must have at least 2 layers of fabric. This description of an appropriate mask face covering would exclude neck gaiters and bandanas. That being said, no neck gaiters, the ones that you pull up, and bandanas, the ones that you tie behind your head, are not approved. All students will receive masks here at Bloomfield High School. We will provide them the first day of school. They should arrive with a mask, but just know that they will get multiple so they can supplement what you may have at home and what they have. But these are approved masks that we will be given to students, and those masks that have filters are not approved either. They have to be one piece covering, no filtered masks.
Will there be mask breaks?
We're waiting for the guidelines from the Department of Public Health and CDC, but the plan is to have at least 1 mask break per period, per class, every day. So yes.
Will all the students be getting laptops?
Yes, students are still scheduled to get laptops. The IT department has not communicated a distribution plan as of yet, but as of yesterday, their goal was still to have these ready for distribution by the start of the school year.
Will students be required to wear uniforms?
We are for this year temporarily suspending the uniform policy. There will be a dress code. It's a reasonable dress code, and that will be sent out by District Board of Education. They've approved it and assured us that it would be sent out. Appropriate clothing, no ripped clothes, no flip-flops, things of that nature. Pretty self-explanatory. So there will be no uniform policy, but there will be a dress code, which is a very reasonable dress code.
Please explain how medical issues will be handled.
Sure. Nurse Kelly is a full-time nurse and will be here as in her regular capacity, handling your normal routine medical or nurse issues. We also have another certified medical professional here to monitor a second room, and this is the room where students or staff displaying any symptoms they'll be isolated from the rest of the school population, and this other individual will be in that room with them with their own bathroom and will be dismissed from a separate location.
Will breakfast and lunch be served?
Breakfast and lunch will be served every day. Unlike the summer, there is not free breakfast and free lunch during the school year for every single student. Therefore, we were told by the food service department that lunch packets have been mailed out. If you and your families do receive free or reduced lunch, though that paperwork needs to be filled out and sent back ASAP to make sure that you receive those services of free or reduced lunch. There is work with a new system to avoid the exchange of money during breakfast and lunch. Parents and families and caregivers should plan on sending in checks or depositing money into their accounts rather than cash, because it's my understanding that there will not be any exchanging of cash between the students and the food service providers.
Will there be clubs and activities?
There will be clubs and activities. Most will be virtual. None will take place in the school building. All students will be required to leave the school building following dismissal. They will not be able to hang around, and those clubs and activities will not be meeting in the school building, but will be meeting virtually.
How will athletics work when school starts?
Bloomfield High School is following the CIEC guidelines as they've been outlined for fall sports. Some practices or conditioning has been taking place. When we start the school year, students, as we stated before, will be required to exit the building following dismissal. Practices will not be able to start until after 2:45 at the earliest. Students will not be allowed to hang around the school building and wait for practice to start. They must exit and then return for their scheduled practice times.
How will morning drop-offs work?
All drop-offs will take place on the bus entrance side of the building. In the mornings and in the afternoon, there'll be multiple staff to direct traffic. Buses will drop off one by one, and students will be allowed to exit any drop-offs one car at a time, following social distancing guidelines. Should a parent need to pick up a child over the course of the school day, you must let us know via telephone call or email. We will have a no visitor policy. No one other than school staff and students will be permitted in the building during the school day. This is for both the safety of the staff and the students. So should you need to pick up your child, please let us know via telephone or via email, and your child will actually be escorted to the bus entrance side to you as a parent or whoever you designate to pick up your child.
Will there be study seminars?
We are doing our very best to not have any open periods. Due to the nature of what school looks like, we are spread very thin for staff. Guidance has been directed to fill every child's schedule to the best of their ability, even if they do not need the class. If an upperclassman has a first period or a last period of the day free, they can choose to have a late arrival or an early dismissal. Should they have either of them, they should come to school late if they have late arrival, and leave the building early should they have early dismissal. It's not a time to sit in the building hanging around or hanging out, students will be required to leave the building if they do not have a class. So that wraps up about some of the questions we've got. We hope it clears up some of the concerns you may have had. Please tune in. The link was sent out last night for our meeting on Monday night. This is a full parent meeting. In addition, we'll be holding another freshman orientation on Tuesday evening. So if you're the parent of an incoming 9th grader, please attend that meeting as well. Again, the important piece of the meeting on Monday night for parents is the live virtual tour, so we can give you an idea of what this building looks like, so to maybe relieve some of the stress that you may have of sending your child to school. So hope this is a different way of sending out information. Appreciate you watching the video, and should you have any more questions, email them or just wait till Monday. That being said, have a great weekend, and we'll see you all Monday night. Take care.